أول ask yourself who's the one with the most to gain. 9/11 motherfuckers couldn't stand his name. Now you display the flags like they lost their mind. Everybody got opinions, but don't know the time. Cause America's been took. It's plain to see the oldest trick in the book is making enemies. That's only evil so that government can do whatever. And take over freedom, knocking loads. Ain't nothing changed. I'm a fellow locked in prison. These pigs still beat as good as seen. We forget. But I remember 4 September how these devils do it. Giuliani, Diallo, how we doing? We in the streets, holla jail to the thief, follow. Wave flag, bring these dragons to their knees. Oil, blood, money, make these killers ride cold. Suspicious suicide, people dying, never told. It's all our own playing cards, so you think we need them. I'm being asked, take away your rights to freedom. They're addicted to the sickness of these dictators. Oh, you want to stand the time, brother, because it's made.
وده الفكر القديم، الفكر الدموي، انهم اخذوا ارض الفوق. لا مانع انهم يضحوا ببعض الابرياء ودول حسبوا شهداء الابطال وحقق السياسه الوطنيه. وهذا الكلام موجود على موقع الانترنت، ولو فتحوا على 911truths.org ويبحث على نورث وودز هيلاقي الوثيقه، صورتها، صوره الوثيقه، صوره الخطط دي.
70% of family members' questions were never answered during the 9/11 Commission report.
Lee Hamilton and Thomas Keane said they were set up to fail.
I mean, I'm a member of the commission. It's a scam. It's absolutely disgusting.
The questions, Mr. President. The questions. The Pentagon. Vanishing airplane.
From my close-up inspection, there's no evidence of a plane having crashed anywhere near the Pentagon. The only site is the actual site of the building that's crashed in, and as I said, the only pieces left that you can see are small enough that you could pick up in your hand. There are no large tail sections, wing sections, a fuselage, nothing like that anywhere around, which would indicate that the entire plane crashed into the side of the Pentagon.
Firefighters and police describing explosions. A lot of them.
The secondary explosion. We've got numerous people covered with dust from the secondary explosion.
Just floor by floor instead of popping out.
It was if they had detonated.
Yeah, detonated.
If they were planned to take down a building. Boom, 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 boom.
Looks sort of like the building just demolished.
Even if there was no secondary explosives in the building.
Kind of like gunfire. You know, bang, 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 bang. And then all of a sudden, 3 big explosions.
Do you know if it was an explosion or if it was a building collapse?
To me, it sounded like an explosion.
Chief Albert Turry told me that he tried to get his men out as quickly as he could, but he said that there was another explosion which took place, and then an hour after there was another explosion in one of the towers here.
Sibel Edmonds, FBI translator, breaking her gag order.
All our intimate relationship with Bin Laden and Taliban. We did carry very intimate relationship with these people all the way up to September 11th.
Bin Laden was spirited into this military hospital in Rawalpindi for kidney dialysis treatment. The military had him surrounded. They were saying that Osama bin Laden had to be watched carefully and looked after.
NORAD standing down. Where were the planes?
On now to one of the eeriest moments amid the carnage of 9/11. A mysterious plane was seen flying right over the president's residence.
The E-4Bs over New York and Washington, otherwise known as the Doomsday Planes.
It has never been officially explained.
Cell phones working at impossible altitudes. Solicitor General Ted Olson receiving phone calls that the FBI says were never made.
What happened during that call? This is the only information we have on these terrorists.
She was able to call him twice. How she could pull that off, we don't know, but she did.
These are the questions, Mr. President. These are the questions. They go on and on.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I come to you today representing the families of the victims of September 11th, as well as millions of my fellow Americans. Hopefully by now you've had a chance to read my letter to you, 20 Minutes with the President, and if not, at least had its contents brought to your attention. We have questions, Mr. President. Lots of questions. A lot of them are detailed in my letter, but trust me, there are hundreds more questions. As my letter chronicles, sir, the 9/11 Commission itself says they were lied to, deceived, and essentially prevented from carrying out a real investigation. The people of the United States and the world demand the truth, sir.
We have to continuously ask questions. That's what a patriot does. That's what a true American does. We ask questions.
You, sir, have the power as well as the responsibility to initiate a truly independent congressional investigation into the events of 9/11 as well as its aftermath. We want our country back, Mr. President. Therefore, I'm not just calling on you and your team. I'm calling on each and every American citizen to wake up, stand up, and demand the truth. We're counting on you, Mr. President. Be on the right side of history.
Almighty, almighty, this is PBR Street Gang. Do you copy? Over.
PBR Street Gang, this is Almighty, almighty. I copy, over.
Well, Charlie Sheen, you haven't been back with us since about a year and a few months ago with your message to President Obama, your 20 minutes with the president that we just re-aired before you joined us. It's great to have you, Charlie. What's your take?
It's still topical. It's a timeless message. It's a timeless message. It's still right there in the fold.
Well, it certainly is. What's your message to President Obama refusing to answer the bullet points that you put down in that key document of the questions surrounding the tragic attacks of 9/11?
Well, I would say to B.O., like how much faith can I possibly have in you to run this entire country when 20 questions from a high school dropout sitcom actor appear to be too much to handle for you and your staff? It's like you've had almost 2 years to deal with this. I wrote them in 1 hour, and it's like, sorry, but you, sir, are obviously a coward in a cheap suit. And the bottom line, Alex, is I'm still here. His schedule is public knowledge. It's rocket science. This is not. Quit hiding. It's embarrassing, dude. Next subject.
To quote the great Allen Iverson, you know what's coming. Come on, guys. We're talking about practice.
I got magic at my fingertips, so I have real fame. They have nothing.
I missed practice. Look at me. I'm a freaking rock star from Mars.
And we are, I don't know,
winning
every second.
Winning.
Oh, my God. We are
winning. Drug test don't lie.
Oh, wait. Can't process it. Losers. Winning.
Bye-bye. Banging rocks. That's how I roll. Because I'm me. I'm different. I get tiger blood, man. Sit back and enjoy the show.
I'm an F-18, bro.
Bingo.
Well, I'm excited to get back to
practice.
I got magic at my fingertips.
I'm a freaking rock star from Mars. I'm talking about 3 million episodes because I'm underpaid right now. Sure. I missed practice.
Oops. Didn't make the rules.
I'm a winner, and their lives look like losers. And by winning,
I'm tired of pretending like my life is it.
Winning
every second. Oh, wait, can't process it. Losers. Winning.
Bye-bye.
Have you had any celebrities reach out to you?
Yeah, radical people like Mel Gibson.
Are you willing to take a drug test?
Shut up. Sure, you get a cup.
When was the last time you used?
I use a blender. I use a vacuum cleaner. I use, drugs. Ain't nothing I like. Cocaine.
When the State Department talks about losing the info war and getting media dominance again in the world, they're talking about the select group of offshore globalists that in the last 50 years have used the United States as an engine of their own private corporate war against sovereign countries and taking over the planet. This is all admitted. And so what's happened is so-called U.S. television and print media, the Washington Post, the New York Times, have lied about WMDs that didn't exist, have lied about terror threats. The former head of Homeland Security, Governor Ridge, wrote a book last year admitting they would issue fake terror alerts for political gain. And so the American people realize that our media doesn't speak for us and is being used basically to propagandize not just us but the world. And so it's not just people in other countries that aren't buying into, quote, U.S. media. It's the American people. And the globalists are out of bullets. I mean, just last year when they were demonizing Rand Paul in his Senate run, Politico called me, and they said, well, what do you see being able to stop Rand Paul? Well, I said, nothing. I'm a big supporter of his constitutional ideas. But I said, if you endorsed him, if the mainstream media endorsed him, that would hurt him. I said, you guys are out of bullets. No one buys into or supports what you're doing. You have lost the war for the hearts and minds because people don't trust you anymore.
Al Jazeera is winning. The Chinese have opened up a global English language and multi-language television network. The Russians have opened up an English language network. I've seen it in a few countries, and it's quite instructive.
Well, again, the people that have hijacked the United States in the last 5 decades to be conservative do not speak for the people of America, and America has become the demon of the world instead of being the apple of the world's eye, because the world has realized that we now predominantly have become an engine of evil. And you're right to say that all Hillary is doing is hitting the panic button and saying, give us more funding. I mean, it came out years ago that tens of billions of dollars a year is spent domestically and internationally to implant globalist messages, corporatist messages in movies and TV, in news, and in newspapers and radio. And the jig is up. They know people are aware of that. So I would tell the State Department, stop lying, stop engaging in disinformation, stop attacking freedom, stop attacking other sovereign nations, stop being propaganda, stop being modern Joseph Goebbels Nazi propaganda ministers, and people might start thinking of you as trustworthy sources. You guys use the public faith and abused it to the point of, if you even tell the truth, no one believes you. I mean, if the U.S. government-controlled media tells the public the sky is blue, they think it's red. If they tell people something's up, folks think it's down. If it's black, it's white. No one believes this Orwellian propaganda system anymore.
Some of them are also beginning to realize the implications of $1.1 trillion military security annual budgets when you have $1.5 trillion deficits. And the implication is, if you're going to continue to have that kind of a military security budget, you're going to have to act Social Security and Medicare. And so and some people are already calling for that. So when they are presented with the notion that they're going to have to renege on benefits that the American workforce has paid 15% of their payroll for their entire working lives, that they're going to take this away. Why? So they can pay for wars? So that's producing others who come to Ron Paul's side of it. But that motive is different from Ron Paul's motive. He, I think, has the motive that it's just purely liberty and freedom. So we have others coming to him who are beginning to see that the cost of the wars may be paid by decimating Social Security and Medicare, and others who see that the war is threatening the dollar as reserve currency. So yes, a coalition could build, but it